Welcome back. Just doing some wood cutting today. We had a break in the weather. It's gone from 35 degrees down to about 24. I'll try to get this whole load cut up today because I've got rain coming in the next 3 inches of rain in the next 2 days. But I thought, well, it's a good day to get the old Poulans give it a run. Got 3 of them here to run, maybe 4. But first up will be the old 2050. Haven't run for about 3 months now. Just fill it up and see how she goes. This is this automatic pair. It's been singing the sun a little bit, but it's as hard as a coffin nail. So let's give it a try. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brand new bar and chains and crutch strap, which I can still go to the store and buy here in Australia. Funny how that works, isn't it? All I'll pay for 3 months. Shut the garage door before I put the garage full of sawdust. The next two saws are two Johnson Red 2036s. These are they're just made by Poulans. Probably one of the better Poulans saws. The one on the top's actually an early saw. The top one there's 91, but when I pulled it down to do some work on it, it's got multiple different parts for about 5 years difference. So it must have some spares in the factory. And the bottom one's my ported exhaust, so that one had a fair whack of work on it. This one's got a bit of a cool backstory behind it. This was owned by a police officer in the family, and he had it for many years, but he had a fault with it, and he gave it to a bloke to fix, and it came back to him in a box of parts. He couldn't fix it, so he put it all back together, you know, as best as the old boy can do. Typical Poulans leaking like a sieve. And I pulled it down and gave it a good clean, good work. You know, there's no flange bolts in it. All these bolts were stripped out, so there's actually through bolts going for it to clamp it all in. I was lucky because the way I put these are designed, unlike the other green bugger, the cheaper ones, they've just got 4 flange bolts. These got 4 flange bolts to hold in, there's another 4 bolts which hold the bottom on. So the motor's a complete separate system. Because these are a Husqvarna 141, exact same platform, 141, 136, 142, same parts, same everything. But yeah, I just had a buggered exhaust, so the exhaust came off. It's actually got a Husqvarna 141 exhaust on it. And a good bar, a good bar on it too. The other bar was naked. And this one was given to us. There's people from moving out, friends and family. You can see the difference in the original mufflers in them. Yeah, she starts and runs, you know, this is completely stock. It had no use because it was only using a small block, just cutting trees and stuff. Still has its original chain made bar on it, so US made bar. I just thought, was it poker chain? It's actually the old chain off that. I believe this one starts, but typical choke cable. So, cable tie. See she starts. Needs a little work, but no. She's what you call a stock standard saw. No, there's nothing exciting about this one. It goes alright. I have stuck it in the in some wood, but no. In all fairness, parts of that will probably end up in this because it's a better saw than that. That's seen a lot of use. That's got a new piston in it. Actually, a media piston from Italy. Back. This is the screamer. This was actually owned by one of the first police officers down on the beach. And how hot was this thing? He's actually my auntie's father. Good bloke. Alright, this is me jumping in. I'm going to do this a few times because I tend to talk when the saw seems to be running. As you can see here, someone forgot to flick the switch, so it'll run. They call Poulans for nothing. Oh, you little bugger. This was going to be a no-show for once. No, it's been a little bit of a pain. But you can sit down for a while and not work. Bugger. I gotta get the other ones. Give me a sec. You know, they're both similar, but they're both different. This is the old XXV, but this one's an old one. This is one of the rarer Countervibe 2035s. This is actually a Canadian Poulan. And it's just there. Made in Canada. It's a Horden Parkwood, what's called. 38cc. This is one of the rare chain brakes. You know, you can tell the Canadian ones from a mile away because they're like a pea green, a lime, like a real pea green. Well, the American Poulans are more of a lime green. And American Poulans don't really come with a chain brake. But Australia having slightly higher standards in terms of safety instead of low kickback chains, which is, this one is not. We typically have the chain brake. I have seen them here in Australia. We did have no chain brakes at one point. I have seen these. I had a 25cc one of these one day, many years ago. I think the old man's first saw one of these. They had no chain brakes on them either. But this is the weirdest Countervibe system I've ever seen in my life, and it works really well. It's the most comfortable saw I've got to own. I've got one of the. This is an 88 or 89. It's pretty long in the tooth when you get to this stage in manufacturing. And I've got an 81, which is the earlier one. But it's all just the green handles all built in as one. And there's no anti-vibe, it's the old school motorbike style handles. But that has a chain brake on it too. But that's an American chain brake. Which is odd at that era too, you know, 81. You know. The choke one's backwards for some reason, I don't know why. Usually they like that for choke and that to run, that to choke and that to run. But my one's the other way, so I don't know why. The crutches in these are different. You could take a crutch off a later saw, like this has the same crutch set up as what's on the early 90s Poulans. You can actually adapt them straight onto these. But the older ones are like a cast crutch. I'll pull that one out when I go around and rebuilding it. But yeah, they do work. You can get the parts. You still get the parts of these. I got both of them, which they're both oil still, which is good. You have to dip it in the bucket every time you have to use it. Back then, big to me grandfather. It's all these saws get a nice feed of steel 25-to-1 Ultra. That's all these saws get. So if I know what the fuel I'm using, that's it. HP Ultra with high octane. It burns carbon out like you wouldn't believe. I had a Victor on the 2-stroke mowers, and that was just carbon up the buggery. I've just pulling it down now. It's actually in a box in there somewhere. And there's no carbon left in it whatsoever after running 3 tanks of this. And it was that bad in the exhaust. Half of it was like so carboned up. The wings have actually polished it. But this stuff works. This is the Shell 98. No F&O on it. This saw came in a box of parts. I think I paid like $20 for it. Came in a box of parts. Ooh, that's a trick. And someone must have used it, robbed it, and broke bolts in the casing. I had to drill them out and re-tap them, and I went back to metric, because metric being a bit easier than imperial. So I got it all back together. She was a good saw for the grab. It was new when I bought it, and it looked like this. She's pouring 175 comp, so she's no wear on it whatsoever. I did have to replace the foam because they do deteriorate, but it's still running its original carton chain, Canadian carton chain on it. So she's still very original. It hasn't seen much use. I don't typically tend to flog her either. You know, she's a bit more of a collector's item, but she's got one the other saws don't have. That tone of a flat, that horizontal tone. Let's try and see if she starts. Start. Same procedure. These are different than any other saw you're ever going to see. Most saws pull choke out, pull so many times, hit fast idle. There's none of it on this. This one's put choke on, put finger on trigger, hold a rate, and swiftly pull. So these old saws, especially with the dogs in them, pre-engage before you start. You go bang, you break one of the plastic dogs. Alright, jumping back in, what I was trying to say that you got to feather them to get them started, just right off the bat. But in the old days you used to hang on to them for 5 seconds, and that would be enough to warm them up. But you know, they're better old girls now. As I say here, you've got to really start warm up when they're cold. But the way these oils work on these, there's actually an impulse fill on a nut. Way they work at crank pressure, they actually oil better when warming up because the higher crank pressure. But if you damage one, you can actually repair them with a standard pull and duck bill. But you got to pull that little out of its cage and place it back in. Not really a saw I cut much anymore. She's a bit blunt. Yeah, she's a bit blunt. She's warm. But she's a saw I'll be out for a giggle. I'm going to cut small stuff. Small green stuff. It's perfect for that because it's nice and light, and I can actually get up there and cut stuff. Up to I bought my that small Zito. That's where I got all this with. That's all bought for Zito. But she's the saw that makes me giggle. She's always been a good saw. More of a collector's item now here in Australia. But heck, I was out cutting the other day, and you can tell the sound of one of these from a mile away. You hear the steels. You hear the steels usually got a deeper tone. Husqvarna's got a bark to them because they usually weather a bit higher. But the other day I was cutting and I can hear that pop, 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 one of these. You go, yep, that's some old boy's pulled his old pawn out of his shed, probably with no brake or anything on it, or just a bolt holding the bar on, and he's gone to cut his tree after that big storm we had not too long ago. They got that real classic Americana sound to them. I do love the old girls. We're gonna breathe. Shepherd me. I forgot to turn the fucking switch on. outside on a wear out. So all this will probably be cut up with the cheap nasty corn over there, because I've got to port it out, do a bit better porting on it, or actually port it. I didn't do it last time, and I might even drop a depends, if it comes out good or it detonates. Anything can happen with porting. I might even put a barrel and pistic hit out of a panther in it. One of the Chinese ones, because the Chinese ones come plated, well, the original ones didn't. They're going to do that, and then this will all, when I do that again, well, this will be a big pile of cut stuff right there. Magic. So that's after me cutting it. 2 hours later of cutting. Well, it's a bit later than that in the afternoon, but had to go out. That's all the wood I got today with that little pawn. Still going good. The only problem I had with it was running that steel ultra. It might be running a little bit rich, but pulling the spark plug out, it still cleans the whistle inside. With that steel ultra, it just burns clean. It just burns away to nothing. So what I'm actually doing at the moment is I'm actually saving all the chips. I've got one of those wood presses. I'm going to probably make a couple of big briquettes out of it, because it's a pretty good hardwood. It's got a lot of weight in it. This has all been sieved out of the crap. But that's one of my next projects. So keep tuned for that. Make some nice wood briquettes.